Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. My name is Mike Amos. His name is what's his name? Bill Rice Jr.
William James Rice Jr.
William James Rice Jr. of Hillcrest, Alabama. And of course, good morning and welcome to all of you out there watching us on Facebook and throughout the nation, throughout the world on Facebook. And of course, you can call your friends right now and tell them to turn their Facebook to TC2, and they can watch the entirety of this show. Of course, we got a good show for you as always. We're going to be babbling, babbling back and forth.
Mike Amos, what we do, we babble for a living.
Mike Amos is going to be coming in here in a moment from his residence at Grayton Beach, Florida, and look to also hear from Will Matthews. And you never can tell who's going to call this show.
Well, Will might want to call and talk about the Ryder Cup. I watched some of that this weekend. Boy, America got some revenge on the Europeans this weekend.
Oh yeah, they really did.
Put it to them.
Really did. Just wore them out, and I'm sure that was a great feeling for those American golfers. Of course, we got a lot of football to talk about, and Troy might have gone down and what do you call it when you go down all the way to the end of the bucket? What do you call it?
Hit the bottom.
Yeah, we hit the bottom of the bucket, ladies and gentlemen, in football, and I hate to say it, but that's what it looks like. We have just lost to one of the worst teams in the college football as far as record-wise. They had lost 12 straight games coming into yesterday, and hey, looked like they owned us. I mean, they weren't even close. Louisiana Monroe walloped Troy University, and Troy University is getting to be people picking that up and almost throwing up about it. And I tell you, it's a shame that we cannot beat La Monroe, the worst team in college football.
I figured, I followed it on the internet, and I figured there'd be a little crowd and no energy, and it'd be depressing and flat. And so as the announcer said, I listened to some of the radio that you'd have to bring your own energy, and we apparently did not bring our own energy. But Troy had over 100 yards more total offense than La Monroe. I mean, same old, just can't run the ball and can't finish drives and score points.
Well, there's no question about it. And they were not bigger. We were much bigger physically, but they were faster, evidently quicker. But their defense, and what gets me is Terry Bowden thinks he owns Troy now. That's four out of five games that he's beaten Troy as a head coach. Terry Bowden, who some people thought was going to be through coaching over 3 or 4 years ago.
Troy was a 24-point favorite, and then when they lost by 12.
Yeah. But Terry Bowden, again, though, he looked sharp. He noticed that, he tried to be as sharp as he could be, and he used to be a butterball, but now he looks like he lost a little weight, looks pretty good. And tell you what, evidently he can coach, because he and
did you see
who's that guy that coaches with him, Mike?
Rodriguez.
Rich Rodriguez.
Rich Rodriguez.
We need to pray for his son. His son has a collapsed lung and is on a ventilator after the game.
The player?
His son, the quarterback that beat Troy.
Golly. He had played a brilliant ball game, too.
He's in ICU, yes. Let's pray for him.
Did he have the COVID or what?
No, died of the injury from the game.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
What happened? Do you remember the play?
Well, he got hit on a questionable call by Marshall where they called targeting, and he did lower his helmet, but he hit him with his shoulder and his helmet kind of on the back.
Oh, was that the one they stopped it? Was that the play where they stopped it?
Yeah, and reviewed it.
Yeah, and reviewed there was no.
And he was on the field for several minutes there. Now I don't know if something happened later in the game as well. So I don't know. I know he took some shots.
We
did
sure
Did he come back in the game or leave then, Booger?
I'm thinking he did come back in.
Dad would know better than me. He watched
I think he did.
back and forth.
I think he did come back in the game, and he played very well. And of course,
he only threw for 130 yards.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he put up godly numbers.
But he did things when it counted, and it was. What is your overall view of this game, Mike?
I mean, it's the worst loss in Division I history as a program for Troy. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, I've been following this Troy program all my life, you know, because of who my dad is. And, I mean, you're a 23.5-point favorite on the road against a team that had lost 12 straight football games until they beat Jackson State barely 12-7 last week, where they had to kick 4 field goals to beat Jackson State. Now, this was a coaching mismatch from the get-go. I mean, Terry Bowden has won, you know, well over 150 games, probably. I mean, Rich Rodriguez has won well over 100 games. I mean, Troy was flat, had no emotion. I mean, didn't score points until late. They kicked a field goal because they got a fumble, so that was 3 points they scored in the first half. Last week they scored no points. Against Liberty, they scored 7 points in the first half. You know, no running game. I mean, it's bad. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. I mean, when you get beat by Louisiana Monroe, a football team that a lot of people consider the worst in Division I, coming into the season, you know, we made jokes all the time, right, now, that all they had to do was win 10 games in Vegas, and that was their over-under win-loss total. So if they win one more game, you win the money as far as season wins. But Chip Lindsey is now 12-15 as a head coach, trailing going into the fourth quarter as a head coach at Troy. Troy is 0-15 while trailing going into the fourth quarter.
Under his tutelage.
Under him as a head coach. So, I mean, you're looking at a 23.5-point favorite in Vegas going on the road. I mean, you would think at worst you would win that game by 10 points. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. 100 yards and penalties. Quarterback play is not very good. I mean, I don't know if Gunnar Watson's just in the doghouse.
What is wrong? I tell you what, I don't know why he has not gone to Gunnar Watson just to see what kind of morale issue it would be with his team, you know.
Like Auburn switching.
He was the most popular player on the team.
Offensive line play has been atrocious. I mean, but you know, we mentioned this before the season. I mean, you had 19 or 21 stars come back, but these guys are coming off 5-6 and 5-7.
Yeah.
So, you know, these players even know how to win? And just like I was telling somebody yesterday, I was, you know, upset about the loss because, you know, I'm a passionate fan and ran into a buddy that follows the program, went to Troy down here at the beach, and he was just like, he's like, you know, I guess we kind of knew this was going to happen because it almost happened last year to a 1AA school.
Yeah.
I mean, Eastern Kentucky has Troy beat at home, and a miracle, I'm talking about a miracle comeback with like 25 seconds left to kick a 48-yard field goal to win that game. So, I mean, I don't know what to say.
I'd like to sit in on that press conference today and see what the coach had to say.
Well, I mean, that's another thing. TroyTrojans.com, sports information. I mean, there's no post-game interviews. There's no content on Instagram. There's no content on Facebook. I mean, Troy fans are having to post content.
They're trying to hide it. Somebody's trying to hide it.
Before the game. And let me just say this. You have a extremely angry fan base right now.
Well, you also don't have any reporters that cover teams like they used to. I don't know if they can't afford to go but you're right. I mean, as far as press conferences, if they could have one, but nobody would show up.
Well, let me tell you this, Mike. I want you to tell us a little bit about what the Auburn coach did when he had a problem. Tell him what he did.
Well, I mean, we hate it because we like Cornelius Williams alive. You know, he was at Troy for 6 years, was a great player at Troy, but you know, the Auburn wide receivers were not producing the way Brian Harsin.
He fired him on the spot, did he?
He was critical of the play against Penn State and critical against Georgia State, and Cornelius Williams, unfortunately, 4 games into his new career at Auburn, was fired as receivers coach.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it was on the news last night. Showed him on the news, and it's really sad because Cornelius has got 3 or 4 kids and was probably making at least $500,000 a year, wouldn't you say, Mike, as an assistant coach?
I know he's making around $375,000. I believe.
So he was making a huge amount of money compared to what he was making at Troy, and well, it just goes to show you that when Auburn's coach got a problem, he just goes ahead and eliminates that problem by firing the coach.
Well, he also, he also benched the beloved icon of Auburn football, and the #1 recruit they've had in years, Bo Nix. When the game was on the line, what did he do? He went to
That's right.
the transfer quarterback.
Probably won the ball game.
Won the game for him.
Sure did. That was quite a game.
I think this is important also to mention. Georgia Southern has fired their coach, Chad Lunsford. You know, Georgia Southern and Troy are very comparable football programs. Of course, Georgia Southern won tons of 1AA national championships. So they start the season at 1-3. And, you know, Chad Lunsford gets fired going into his 4th season. Chad Lunsford's been to bowl games the last 3 years. And they fire their coach. So does that say you a little bit something about the way Georgia Southern thinks of their program and the way Troy thinks of theirs?
Who's their coach now? Do you know?
Well, they hired an interim coach off the staff.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I mean, Chad Lunsford starts the season 1-3, despite the fact that he was 27-18 entering the season.
Yeah.
And they fired him.
He won 10 games, 8 games, 7 games. Went to bowl games the last 3 years. So I mean, I'm just.
How long ago did this happen? This happened this year.
Yesterday.
The guy wins 10 games in 2018, 3 consecutive bowl appearances. But that's not good enough for Georgia Southern's department and fan base.
When did they fire him, Michael?
He was fired yesterday.
What? I mean, Lunsford or the
fired right after they lost.
The Georgia Southern coach was fired yesterday.
Golly.
1-3.
It's like they did.
Now, who do you think has the more passionate fan base, Troy or Georgia Southern?
Oh, I don't know. Boy, I tell you what, that stuns me that they get him this early. And like you said, he'd been to 3 straight bowl games.
It must be something else.
Oh, man, what he got to do? And look, Rice wore his Louisiana Lafayette shirt this morning.
My yellow shirt, whose colors got this?
Well,
Louisiana Lafayette beat Georgia Southern. Louisiana Lafayette's a good team too. That wasn't.
No, excuse me. Louisiana Monroe beat.
Now that I think about it,
Kevin Whitley will serve as the interim head coach for Georgia Southern the rest of the year.
That's weird. But Louisiana Lafayette's the top 25 type team, 30, and I think they only beat Georgia Southern 28-20, and then they fire him after. It's not like they got blown out by a bad team like Troy.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not good news. This is happening at Georgia Southern, and it could very easily happen at Troy after the very dismal. You know, he can always turn around and say, "Well, I just got beaten." Southern Mississippi, and Southern Mississippi scored twice on Alabama's great defense. Southern the team Troy beat without a score, or he did score last because.
Trust me, that's not a good sign for Alabama fans.
But hey, they moved the football on Alabama, didn't they?
Yeah, they had over 200 yards of offense. They had 50 against Troy.
Yeah, that's right. And
hey, and let me just go ahead and say one thing: is Troy's defense in losing games. Troy's defense gave up 21 to a very good Liberty offense. They gave up 3 to Southern Miss. We're not going to count the fumble. The guy ran back 50 yards for a touchdown. That's not the defense. We're not going to count the safety Troy's quarterback gave up. We're not going to count the pick six that went 99 yards. So technically, they only gave up 20 points to La Monroe. If you give up 20 points to La Monroe, you should beat them.
Yeah. But let me tell you the key. Let me tell you 2 things. First of all, I hope the coach is listening. Nobody in his right mind runs a play-action pass from their own 2-yard line. they were the safety. They ran a play action pass. All right, here's all these defensive linemen coming at, putting on a bull rush to get the quarterback, and he runs play action. He runs a play action. That means he faked to the runner, then turned and tried to throw it, and then they rammed him and got the safety. But nobody, not even my Pee-wee coach, runs a play action pass from his own goal line, and we did it. All right, something else we did was, well, let's see, that might be the strongest part that I got.
Sounds like Troy's going in for a touchdown, then they got a pick six, so that's a 14-point swing right there.
Well, it was sad the way it happened. They were on the goal line trying to score, like you said, trying to score, and he flipped it over there to the wide receiver to the left, and the guy just was standing there, and the ball is deflected, and it drops in his hands, and he goes 99 yards with it for a touchdown. So
that's
that
like the
wasn't
play
good.
that Mac Jones threw against Auburn when threw it, and Najee Harris, a little behind Najee Harris, and then Auburn picked it off and ran all the way back for that's a swap of 14
Yeah,
points.
I mean, we missed another day, and we were looking at Troy's schedule. If you won against La Monroe, you went to 3-1, and if you finished just 4-4, you got to 7-5. But at the time, we didn't know that Georgia State has improved tremendously. Now 2-2 with 8 to play. I mean, is Troy going to beat Coastal Carolina?
All right, they got Coastal Carolina.
No, I mean,
is Troy going to beat Coastal Carolina? Are they going to beat Louisiana Lafayette? Are they going to beat App State? Are they going to beat South Carolina? Are they going to beat Georgia State?
You know what? You're exactly right, Mike. It's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough. And here's what I was going to say. Throw the ball, or excuse me, I'll say this. Throw the damn ball downfield. Why flip it to the side? They throw it over here to the left, behind the line of scrimmage. Throw it over here to the right, behind the line of scrimmage. Throw the damn ball downfield. That's what I say.
Yeah, I mean, these little routes for 5 yards to the flat, where you got to have a blocker out there to make a perfect block. And if he doesn't make that perfect block, it's usually a tackle for loss.
Well, it's almost...
You're going to throw to the right, you're going to throw to the left. I mean, Reggie PIKE catches 2 balls in a row. He's been pretty much disappeared all season on that drive before the pick six. He looks like an All-American. They're just throwing deep balls to him, and he's out jumping guys making catches.
But even a positive Troy, and I listened to it too. Even a positive Troy.
You watched it.
I know it, but also I was the radio. I turned it to the radio, and even those positive nice guys, radios, McKnight and Jerry, well, they were also saying, throw the ball downfield. What are you doing, Coach? Everybody, by the time the ball gets there, first of all, this quarterback doesn't have a rocket arm, so the ball doesn't get there very quick. Then 3 or 4 guys are surrounding him when he catches the ball, and bang, bang, bang. It's, gain 2, maybe 3 yards, or lose it to him, maybe 3 yards.
I guess they don't have any running game, and that's their running game, to throw these little quick screens.
Well, and I don't know what it is, but hey, listen. Look, when times are gloomy and we're not doing anything, bring the other kid in, a kid that started several ball games and passed for over 2,000 yards last year. He's only a redshirt sophomore, and unless he's in your doghouse, Coach, and you don't want to play with him, I cannot see why in the world you don't make a change when don't have any offense. And how about this, Michael? I'll tell you a great pass. Just go. I'll tell you a wide receiver to go across the line of scrimmage and about 5 yards and turn around. Yeah, you can get it, but when he catches the ball, he gets killed. And we have a lot of...
that happens all the time.
All the time.
Down. We run a route that, we need 8 or 9 yards. We're running a route for 5 yards.
And I'm going to tell you what, this kid was shaking like a leaf. This quarterback of ours, you could see it. He was shaking like a leaf. He was unstable and was not really to run this attack at least at several venues during this game, and I hate it for him.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Dad and I have been over there at the game. It is a brutal spot to play. I mean, it's a weird fan base.
Yeah, it is.
Environment. It's a dull-looking university. I mean, it's a trap place to play.
They are a what do you call it?
Terry Bowden is a great coach. I don't care what anybody says. The guy started his career going 21-0, and he's won everywhere he's been.
Yeah, won 21 straight games at Auburn.
He took Akron, of all teams, to the championship game in the MAC. I mean, who does that?
Yeah, I know it.
You know, Rich Rodriguez was great at West Virginia. He was great at Tulane as offensive coordinator. He was decent at Michigan. He was not very good at Arizona. But, I mean, he's a guy that's won, you know, several games. So,
Boy, he would get...
They've got a great coaching staff.
And let me tell you this, what happens, my friends, when he screwed, if you notice in this game, when they had a boy to screw up, he got in his lap. He got in his lap and just, I mean, you didn't want to come to the, after you screwed up, you didn't want to come to the sideline because Rodriguez is going to eat you a lunch.
I mean, Rice, what's your opinion of this game? Like if you're a guy like somewhere up in Tennessee or somewhere in Mississippi and you saw that score, what would you think?
You'd put them down there at that level. So Troy Troy's at their level, you know, whatever.
Troy's gone from the top of the Sun Belt to the bottom of the Sun Belt. They, you know, it's just deflating for the season, deflating for the program. You got to win these games you're supposed to win, and then you got to win some games you're not supposed to win. It's that simple.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be, you know, no energy, deflating. You know, we might take them for granted. I thought it might be not as impressive as the Vegas said. Well, I certainly didn't think we were going to lose.
Well, maybe this team is better than I thought.
Now, the good news is we got a chance to put this out of our minds as much as possible by pulling a huge upset, which I thought we could do against South Carolina, but of course I don't now. But if Chip Lindsey wants any chance to get the fan base back, he better win at South Carolina.
I mean, if South Carolina holds a pretty good Kentucky offense to 16 points, I can't imagine what they're going to hold on.
Yeah, I know it. They're going to shut the door on us.
Maybe this will say, like, now they're going to say, what the heck we got to lose? Let's throw the ball down the field and let's rethink everything we're doing. I guess also the defense.
One Troy offensive lineman, I'm not going to name names, had at least four penalties.
Yeah, 4 penalties on it. You can't afford that. You know, you just can't afford that.
Terry Bowden's all-time record as a head coach is 177 and 115. It's pretty good.
Oh man, no question about it. Beat Troy 5 out of the last 6 times, or 4 of the last 5 times. But I'm hurt because I watched my team.
Hurt. I'm embarrassed.
Well, yeah, you're right, and I always bleed red, white, and silver, whatever your colors are. We're really red, black, and silver.
Red, black, and cardinal.
And cardinal, or wherever. But let me just say this: we supposed to have had 6 of the best running backs we've ever had at Troy. 6 they could play, and I haven't seen maybe 2 of them play much, but you gotta. We no way in the world we're gonna beat anybody run straight at them. But listen, at least throw the ball downfield. Keep the corners and keep the safeties back where they're supposed to belong. I know you might have to throw underneath the coverage, but and then every now and then give a couple of shots deep just to let you know that you're going to throw deep. And we very rarely did that, you know.
We also got Coach Hambright here, if you want to take a break.
Rich Rodriguez's all-time record is 163 and 119.
Boy, those are not bad records.
We went up against a guy that won 177, and we went up with another guy that won 163.
Yeah. So, and they wear us out.
I mean, my biggest issue with this is Neil Brown left Troy with the greatest program they had ever had in Division I. We had won 10 games, 11 games, and 10 games. 3 straight seasons of over 10-plus wins. So, I mean, or of over 10 wins. So, I mean, that's what's so hard to believe about this in the last 2+ years, how we have fallen, because we had the best teams we had ever had.
Couldn't sustain it.
Yeah. Mike, you're exactly right. There's no question about it. But I'm not trying to compare this our coach with Brown. He was an outstanding coach, and I like.
But I'm just saying it's not like you're having to rebuild a program.
Yeah.
Like Neil Brown, when he started Troy's program, was rebuild the wall. That was his slogan.
Yeah.
That's what all the T-shirts were. You know, Coach Blaney had 2 straight losing seasons. His final year, he won 3 games. You know, the first year Neil Brown went 4-8, and we struggled. But then he won 10, then he won 11, then he won 10. He beat Nebraska. He beat LSU. I mean, I'm just saying, some of these guys are still on the roster. I mean, that's just so crazy. Because they got the extra year. So, I mean, you can't tell me these guys didn't know how to win initially.
Yeah. Well, let's just say this: Georgia Southern fires their coach, and they had won three straight bowl games. Is that right?
They
I
drawn
know
the
they've
3.
been to 3 straight ball games. I'm not sure 100%.
No, I didn't say win. I didn't say win, but you know, been to 3 straight bowl games.
Yeah, they've been to 3 straight bowl games. He had a winning record.
And of course he started off, and then he almost beat this weekend. They almost beat Lafayette. So
I mean, I hate that too.
Yeah.
You know, I like Jeremy Rawl as much as any player coach has ever been at Troy.
I do too. I do too.
He's Jeremy Rouse at Georgia Southern.
Yeah, you know, he's a great guy.
Well, he's still there, I guess. But,
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
I think.
Coach coming in.
Yeah.
So.
But you know, of course, Jimmy.
I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, I guess I'm just. I guess I just didn't think it was possible. I mean, I saw that line all last week, and I kept on saying 23.5, and then I kept on saying West Virginia plus 17 against Oklahoma. I mean, I kept on seeing those lines. I said, dang it, this is the weirdest I've ever seen in my life. Because I kept on saying, how's Troy even going to get to 23.5 points?
You're right. You were right.
Can they score 23.5 points? You're right.
And obviously, I mean, they didn't score a touchard until 38 seconds left to get to 16.
Yeah. Mike, we're going to go on a break, but another thing I want to say, a hard shake and you look at them straight in the eyes, and you go back into that coach's office and say, I'm going to be a better coach. I'm going to have a strong grip. I'm going to look at you straight in the eyes, and I'm going to tell my players that we're going to turn this thing around, and we're going to go to work and hopefully turn it around against South Carolina.
That's a good opportunity to do it. That's right.
And so it should be a heck of a game. We'll be back.
They shouldn't be flat against South Carolina, I hope.
We'll be back after this.
We got Coach Hambright over here.
Is he here?
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality midsize truck. Jeep Gladiator. 0 APR for 36 months. And no payments for 90 days. Shop PremierTroy.com today during Jeep Adventure Days and save thousands. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
We're celebrating our Driver Appreciation Week. We're so happy to have TruckWorks here.
We just want to recognize TruckWorks for what they do for us. Absolute great partners. They've really stepped up here on Driver Appreciation Week. They came in here, and I mean, not hamburgers and hot dogs, Boston butts and the grilled chicken, the really, really prima stuff. So, man, we so much appreciate you guys and what you do for us.
Wiley Sanders Foot Line, we know one thing. Drivers first.
Welcome to ESPN College Football. This is going to be wild. Run it.
The 11th annual Riverwalk Wine Festival will be held Friday, October 8th at the Union Station Train Shed. Join the City of Montgomery's Department of Cultural Affairs for an evening of wine tasting, food vendors, and live jazz downtown. Tickets for this charity event are $30, and proceeds will benefit the Family Sunshine Center. Visit mgmcityevents.com today to order your tickets for the 11th Annual Riverwalk Wine Festival, happening Friday, October 8th.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality truck. Bam. #1 longest lasting truck. Bam. Right now. Get 0% APR for 72 months on new Ram. Shop PremierTroy.com during Ram Power Days and save. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
To our show. Back to our show is brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass. And, of course, they're dealing like you won't believe it. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody. With us, Coach Hambright of Charles Henderson High School. My friend, good to see you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we were talking off the beach. They went down and played a very good team from Williamson High School in Mobile, and you played them off the feet, Coach.
Yeah, we played 3-quarter football. 4-quarter football, we win that game. We went, they scored, and then we got up, we scored. It was 8-7. They scored one more time. On their second drive, when it became 8-13, we dropped 2 interceptions, and they fumbled the ball, and we didn't recover it. Mm-hmm. In a football game, I don't care who you are. If you miss out on those opportunities, they're going to score in that drive. That was both of those interceptions would have been touchdowns. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Williamson has one of the top linebackers in the state. It's already committed to Alabama. What's his name?
I'm not sure what his name is, but I know Jawan. but I know Jawan Boyd called a nice little 2-point conversion over top of his head. So if he's committed to Alabama, then what did that tell you about Jawan Boyd? They literally double teamed Jawan.
Oh, I like him. I like him. He's a great receiver.
Yeah, and then he had just scored the touchdown, and so #1 got out there. I guess he thought he can, cover Jawan, and we just threw a jump ball to him, and Jawan just took it over. Yeah, the picture is actually on my Twitter page, Coach Hambright.
Right.
You can see it.
Coach Quinn Hambright. Spell that name.
I see Dan Smith does a great job covering all y'all's games. I see all the pictures on Facebook.
Yeah, he captures the best shots. The best shots in every shot.
Let me tell you this: you're at a facility or at a school that really does things right. You can tell that, can't you? And of course, I'm sure that they're not doing things right in your book. You can maybe work around it and find out a way to do it better. But I've looked at your program, and it looks very strong. It looks like you got quality and you got class. Mm-hmm. You believe in all those things, don't you?
Yes, sir. No doubt. Dan Smith specifically said the coach. I'm very excited about the character that you're building within these kids, and he's been in every game. He said, the reactions on how, in past time and right now, it's totally different. When we get cheap shot, or we get hit, we get punched under the pile. None of our guys have reacted all year, and that's from Miss Face, and that was her #1 goal. No personal fouls. A personal. When you get a unsportsmanlike conduct or something personal, it's exactly what it is. It's personal. It's yours. It's not team. That had nothing to do with the team. You took it upon yourself to make that.
Exactly.
To make that. So, that's what I've been trying to instill in them. And they've been doing a good job when it comes to their character.
All right, well, let's.
The kid, the linebacker's name is Robert Woodyard. 6'1", 210. He's the #7 player in the state. He's a 4-star commitment to the University of Alabama. 117th best player in the country.
He's good. He's really, really good. He plays receiver too. And he can run and he can catch. He is an athlete.
Why do you think he'll be in college? Where will they put him in?
Probably linebacker. He doesn't have the SEC speed to run, but in high school, he can run past DBs. Our little short DB was on him. It was perfect coverage, but it was a perfect ball. Their quarterback, I don't know his name, lefty, but he is good. he's big. He looks like a. He's.
Well, you ran into a real good Williamson team, and I think you played them straight up. You had to be proud of your players.
Yeah, I am.
And then last week, tell us a little bit about that. We missed you during our show, but tell us a little bit about what happened last week.
Look, my brain's so scattered. Who did we play? Andalusia. Yeah.
Andalusia.
Yeah, that was an
He
eventful.
scored 28. He scored 28 points. Your quarterback almost threw for 400 yards. That's not.
How does he do that, Coach?
Yeah, we that was, like I said, that was an eventful game. If you had to be there to understand what I'm talking about, it was eventful. But nonetheless, we can't. When you go into an environment like that, we can't make the mistakes because there are going to be other factors in that game that.
Are you talking about officiating or what?
Yes. Essentially, but we
those guys in the striped shirts.
Yeah,
Andalusia is
Very careful. He's probably running these crews again.
Yeah, and it was, it was eventful, and but, by no means was that the 21 points were on us. The first 21 points of the game, misalignment, not making tackles, but. Parker threw, it's crazy. He threw for 403 yards, but only had one touchdown passing. But, he was spinning it. Some of the coaches like, Coach, when we shook hands, like, Coach, run the ball. I'm like, why? Mm-hmm. I mean, but,
now he's a 10th grader, and he can spin it already. Is that right? He's got a good arm.
Yeah, Parker, he manages the game well, and he keeps us in a lot of games. I think Jawan had 127 receiving yards that game.
That's
Jawan Boyd.
Boyd, he's a good receiver.
What class is he?
He's a 10th grader.
Well, there you go. They're going to be together for 2
now you got another receiver that is a senior.
Cody Youngblood, he caught the first touchdown, second play of the game, actually. We jumped up on him early. It was 7-0 early. The 70-yard bomb. I mean, and one of their best players, I think Andalusia's best athlete. He just went over, caught the ball over his head, ran it for 70 yards.
He jumps real well too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he jumps pretty high. That's why I recruited him to play football.
Yeah, he was playing basketball. Is that right?
Basketball, yeah. He hadn't played since 8th grade.
So you basketball players out there, we want you on the football field too. Yes. Hey, listen, I've always said this. 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people come watch you play football, or maybe 300, 400, 500 might go see you play a basketball game.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. You want exposure to play football.
Coach, what were the conditions at Ladd People Stadium? I know that's a legendary stadium. Y'all played down in Mobile. Really played a lot of bowl games down there. Was it still in pretty decent shape, or is it seen its time?
Well, the field itself looks good. Mobile Public Schools, they won't allow high school players to go into locker rooms. So we actually, unfortunately, had to get dressed under the bleachers.
Gosh, it must not be very good.
Yeah, it was not the best condition when it comes to that.
It's an old stadium, I know that.
But
I can't even go in the locker room.
Yeah, we couldn't. So it was,
that is very strange.
Yeah, I wish I had known before. I would have kind of prepared, other alternatives so that when we get there, we already be dressed, at least our bottoms. But that was just the nature of the beast.
Y'all tape before the game and all that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
Charleston's always had a good trainer. Do y'all have a guy that does a good job of taping and all that?
Yeah, Micah. This is his first year with us, and Micah does an exceptional job. He keeps me abreast of what's going on, to the babies, to ones that's actually hurt, to the ones that's injured. So coach, he's fine. He's fine. Or coach, we might want to sit him out.
But you do have a full-time trainer pretty much?
Sir. Yes, sir.
That's good.
Micah.
Coach, have you had many injuries throughout the season, or more just hurt feelings?
A little bit of both. We have to learn how to be tough, and it's not the same. When I was in high school, I'm pretty sure you all was the same way. If it wasn't sticking out, you go back out there and play. If I can't see it, but it's a different type of generation there. And and I understand hurt is hurt. You can play on it. But if you're injured, I'm a smart coach. The third quarter in the Williamson game, Jackson West, I didn't let him play. I took him out in the second quarter. Didn't let him play for the rest of the game. That was a key factor in them scoring 21 points in the third quarter. Jackson is
corner over there or what?
No, Jackson. Yeah, he plays linebacker.
He's been playing for several years.
And he's small, but his heart is as big as his building. And not having you know, that heart, that effort, that brain out there to make sure everybody's, you know, where they're supposed to be. It hurt us that third quarter. And, you know, I put a freshman in there. He gave me what he could. And, you know, and with me, I'm always going to play my young guys.
Well, you know, the key to everything, especially when you do have a young team, you want them to play hard, and you want the team to get better every game. Do you feel like so far that since the first game, do you feel like you've gotten better?
Yeah, we're progressing. Baby steps or forward steps. So, you know, me being the coach, you know, me being my mindset, winning, you know, that hadn't come, but, you know, we've been winning when it comes to the progress that we've made over
But again, if you get better every game, you're doing your team's progressing and your coaching staff's progressing.
Yes, yes. Everybody's, you know, they're kind of taking on the mentality of Coach Hembright, and, you know, and that's the goal. You know, I want everybody on the team, staff, you know, administration, Troy community, you know, the kids, you know, just to take my mentality when it comes to going into a game. And
well, I tell you what, another thing too, it doesn't matter how you play, and you've got a schedule that is probably one of the toughest in 5A football.
You're literally about to play the side of one of the toughest teams in the state. It doesn't even matter if they're 5A.
They're number one. They're top 10 in the state, number 1 in 5A.
And that game's going to be at the stadium this week?
That's Friday, yes.
This Friday, so that's going to be quite a ball game with Park.
I mean, what is it that everybody wants? Are they a spread? I mean, do they throw and run?
Yeah, they do a little bit of both. Iverson Hooks, the quarterback, he's literally the Lamar Jackson of high school football.
He's that good.
I mean, he can. I mean, and when he runs, he doesn't run to run the ball. Like when he scrambles around, he's going to make about 5 guys miss, and he's going to throw it as deep as he can down the field. I mean, he's pretty good. You know, they have a running back over there that's good, a few receivers that's fast. Their D-line's probably the most stout D-line in 5A. They have Marcus Harris' little brother. Marcus Harris that plays at Auburn, number 50. His little brother plays for Pike Road. And we also got Curtis Perry, who transferred from Park Crossing, who is the kid that we saw in the spring game. I don't know if you remember number 44.
Yeah.
Number 44, from the spring game. Yeah, he transferred to Pike Road. Yeah. So
it's a great program. There's no question about it.
Yeah, they
built it in a hurry, didn't they?
Yeah, they built it all right.
I'm sure what he did when he started opening up that school, Rice, he decided he'd take that guy, and I'd take that guy. We're talking about 5th and 6th graders or whatever, and get him to come here.
It's just the number of people that moved into Pike Road is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, you know, and you know it's a lot. It's a lot of people that moved there now. And most of those that move are athletes, but you know that's a story for a different day.
Well, Coach, I mean, I'm looking at your schedule. I mean, Pine Road, of course, is going to be extremely tough, but I mean, I know you're focused on them. But after that, you got Rehoboth and Dothan, Carroll and Ozark. You got Headland at home, and then you got Brantley away. I mean, those are 4 teams you should be able to compete with, I would hope.
Yeah, we kind of have our mindset on playoffs. You know, and you know, it may look far-fetched from everybody else, but, you know, me being a coach, you know, it's how you play week 1, how you play in week 5, doesn't matter unless you're playing in week 11. And you can be the worst team week 1, but the best team week 11. We were the 4th seed at Hillcrest in Evergreen, the 4th seed going into the playoffs, and we beat 2 number 1 seeds and a number 2 seed to make it to the 4th round of the playoffs.
So I tell you, like I said, though, if you get better, you got a young team, and there's no question you got a lot of talent that's going to be at Charles Simpson in a couple of years, and they're just getting used to playing right now. But if you can get effort from these kids and get better every game, nobody can really say a whole lot about your season. And is just get better and focus on trying to be the best thing be.
Yeah, that's that.
Ought to be a huge game for Friday night. I'm sure Pike Road will bring a couple thousand people probably.
Yeah, they're gonna bring Montgomery out. You know, Pike Road. You know, they travel to see the show. You know that's I mean that's what they do. And I don't. And with me, you know, I don't get caught up in all that. What happened? Troy got paid twice to go beat some Power 5 schools. Literally, they paid them to come beat them because Troy Troy University, went up there with LSU and Nebraska and got paid and won. You know, so it's not far-fetched. I'm pretty sure the only people that thought they were going to win was those guys in the locker room. You know, and you know the full support that they have around them. So I don't count my guys out, not one bit. You know, I think when I go into a game, I put the mentality instill the mentality in them to, you know, compete and win. Don't go into the game thinking, I hope we don't lose. That's a losing mentality. You go in the game thinking, hey, we're gonna get this win, and you know that's what we're doing Friday.
I want to mention this show is brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama has a great opportunity for you as a career, and they have a first-class business and one of the great trucking companies in the world is located right here in Troy at Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Also, want to remind you, Wells Fargo Advisors, Colin McCrary, and all my friends there. They can help your money grow. And Little Caesars, man, if I tell you what, if it doesn't get any better than this as far as a pizza goes, it's the best pizza in town at the best price in town. So drop by and see them. We'll be back after this.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality midsize truck. Jeep Gladiator. 0 APR for 36 months. And no payments for 90 days. Shop PremierTroy.com today during Jeep Adventure Days and save thousands. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
We're celebrating our Driver Appreciation Week. We're so happy to have TruckWorks here.
We just want to recognize TruckWorks for what they do for us. Absolute great partners. They've really stepped up here on Driver Appreciation Week. They came in here, and I mean, not hamburgers and hot dogs, Boston butts, and the grilled chicken, the really, really prima stuff. So, man, we so much appreciate you guys and what you do for us.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we know one thing. Drivers first.
Welcome to ESPN College Football. This is going to be wild. Run it.
The 11th annual Riverwalk Wine Festival will be held Friday, October 8th at the Union Station Train Shed. Join the City of Montgomery's Department of Cultural Affairs for an evening of wine tasting, food vendors, and live jazz downtown. Tickets for this charity event are $30, and proceeds will benefit the Family Sunshine Center. Visit mgmcityevents.com today to order your tickets for the 11th annual Riverwalk Wine Festival, happening Friday, October 8th.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality truck. Bam. #1 longest lasting truck. Bam. Right now. Get 0% APR for 72 months on new Ram. Shop PremierTroy.com during Ram Power Days and save. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Kind of running attack. Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a guy that I think has done a great job here at Charleston, and that's Quinn Hambright, yes, and for long I won't have any problem with Hambright. I don't really right now, but Quinn Hambright, the head football coach at Charles Henderson. Coach, you go into, like Mike said, you play one of the top teams in the state in Pike Road. And of course, Rice, you know a lot about that school. They built
several years ago. I mean, it's come a long way since I lived there.
Yeah, it's Pike Road, man. They are a team that they're tough. I mean, they have athletes at every single position. You know, at every position they may have a Division I football player at every single position.
That is amazing. Field. Well, you know, a lot of people have said the same thing about Catholic. Well, you played them, but that's the best 3A school I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, they play like a 5 or 6A school. Yeah, I believe they could play against those guys and beat them. You know.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Henry, I will say that they left you no favor in scheduling in your first year. I mean, I don't know if you have any say in this at all, but I mean, you start with Montgomery Catholic, you know, the best team in 3A, and then you play Greenville, who's always loaded with talent.
They're undefeated, we're undefeated.
Then you have Early County come in from Georgia, Blakely. Then you had Andalus, Williamson in Mobile. I mean,
terrible.
Brutal schedule.
I mean, every one of those teams were good football teams that if you already played in. And now you play a giant this week.
And he's also played some big-time Division I prospects, and then he just said that Pike Road's got Division I prospects at every position on the field.
Every single one of them. Every single one of them. So
they have really recruited.
How does that work as far as high school scheduling, Coach? I mean, did you have any say, or was this already determined a year in advance? How did this work this year?
Wait, high school schedules are 2-year contracts. So, you know, I walked into this one. Yes, I walked into this schedule.
Well, I hope we keep playing Pike Road. I want to. They got us. Might have the talent now, but it would be a great rivalry in the future.
Big money game and all that, no question about it. But like you said, Coach, and like we were talking about, all you can expect of your team is to play hard and play with class and get better every game.
Yeah.
Get better every game. That's a sign of a good player and a good coach.
Yeah. We progress. You know, I'm proud of those guys for the way they competed against Williamson. You know, if you eliminate the third quarter, we win that game.
You have really Mike just brought it back in focus. Is that you have got probably the toughest schedule maybe in Alabama.
5A for sure.
For sure. Especially your non-conference,
right?
Your non-area games were awfully tough this year.
Definitely.
But how many games we got left? Tell us. Let's see.
Yeah, five games left.
Oh, we got a lot of football left. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's mid-season. You know, this is our hump day. You know, week 5. That's right, smack dab in the middle, and you know we have to turn another leaf now.
Before we went on break, we were talking about running games, and you pretty much have to have a running game, or they'll just swarm you on a passing game. Yeah. Are you going to be able to put together any kind of run against this bunch or anybody else?
We have a game plan that I think that will, if executed properly, that it'll work. Yeah. These last 2 games, we haven't ran the ball like we should. It's been pretty much Parker and the receivers. O-line, I've just been challenging them, and I've took them through a lot these last 2 weeks. I mean, when I'm talking about a lot, you know, I've challenged those guys. Yeah. You know, it is impossible. I don't care who you have on the edges. I don't care who you have at quarterback. It is impossible. And you show me a team that can win without the trenches. Yeah. You cannot win without an O-line.
Well, let me tell you something you could do. You could go back all the way back to your jamboree, and y'all move the ball well by running off tackle, and then your guys were running good to daylight, and you know, I mean, what I'm saying, you know, you'd say, well, Pike County won a game either, but at the same time, y'all executed in that game, I thought, pretty well.
Yeah, we executed pretty well, and we, like I said, that's how I know we can do it. If you can do it for 3 quarters, you can do it for 4.
Yeah, and we're talking about Pike County, a well-coached football team, and like yours, you know.
Yeah, Pike County, they're going to get it together. They're similar to us when it comes to age. You know, they play a lot of 8th and 9th graders. You know, I play a lot of 9th and 10th graders. So they're a little bit younger than me, but you know, we both we'll get it together, man. I have zero concern about this group of guys.
Yeah, you know, I don't think you have to. I feel the same way. I feel like you are under control, and you feel good about yourself and your team.
Yes, sir. No doubt.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a big game this weekend, and of course, if you want to see one of the top high school football teams in the state of Alabama at any classification, is Pike Road, the Patriots. And I rode by their school, Rice, the other day. They got one of these beautiful carpets. They play on a carpet. And it's a beautiful. You've seen it before, haven't you?
Yeah, I went to that.
I haven't seen that new stadium.
Oh yeah, but you're really. They've got a. I rode by there one day, and there were 100 kids out there in uniform. And they had the Pee Wee kids out there, the junior high kids, and the varsity kids, and they were just having all kinds of things going on. But you know, if you play hard and you work hard, you know, you're going to get better, and we're going to see a good football team. on down the road. But you got to take some small steps before you can take giant steps.
Definitely.
Yeah, good luck to you, Coach. I'll be pulling for y'all down here in Florida.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Coach, thank you so much for being with us, and
I
we look
appreciate you
forward
all.
to it. And
I appreciate you all.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more from Bird Drugs in Troy, Alabama, and from our friends at First National Bank of Troy, Brundidge. See you then.
Bracken Appliance, the largest appliance store in the Wiregrass, is the place to go to find your dream kitchen. Choose from names like Wolf, Sub-Zero, GE's Cafe Line, and KitchenAid. If a dream kitchen is in your future, you owe it to yourself to shop Bracken Appliance. Bracken specializes in customer service, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff with that special touch to make you feel welcome. Dream no more about your new kitchen. Find it at Bracken Appliance. Come on in, buy local and take it with you, or Bracken will deliver.
And First Bank of Brundidge.
Sorry about
Are we back
that.
on there?
I was looking at it. Take care, Coach.
See you, Coach. Good luck.
Coach, anything we can do, you let me know.
Did y'all see the guy make the 66?
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, and of course it's brought to you by Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, Troy Bank and Trust Company is the only bank you'll ever need. And also from Wiley, Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama. You're looking for a career in the trucking industry, no better place to go than right here in Troy. See Hoss Daddy for more information. Wise Office Supply. Yes? Wise Office Supply, one of my dear friends, and the boy, I know they were just holding on until the last play of the ball game, and it was the last play of the ball game, and this is what happened.
Well,
War Eagle! War Eagle! They win. They find a way to win on the last play of the game.
Well, it wasn't the last play of the game.
They won how many more games?
It was 45 seconds left.
It was the last play of the game because it was 4th and 12.
All right, 4th and 12.
Well, the last play, their last chance to win. That's right.
But it wasn't the last play of the game. They got it back.
They got it back and threw a pick six, and that's why the score looks. Auburn padded the score because they intercepted the ball.
I tell you what,
and
Auburn, I've always said this. I've said it for years. Auburn's one of the. Don't ever count the Auburn out.
No, they got pride.
I've seen too many things. I've seen the quick six, and I've seen the. I've seen all kinds of.
Don't know that the Georgia State coach is serious. That's the
Well, I hate.
Steve was open.
Dropped ball by the tight end that gained 20 yards that helped Auburn get down the field, and then Finley scrambles, turns back the right way, had a guy at his leg, about to go down for the sack on 4th and 12. Johnson somehow gets open in the end zone. He throws a perfect pass. He jumps up, catches it, and Auburn takes the lead. Then they get a 2-point conversion, and then late, Georgia State was desperate and threw an interception. Smoked Bundy, took it in, for a touchdown. But Auburn survived the game that they were physically dominated in the first half. I watched it.
Well, let me ask this.
Georgia State had a running back that rushed for 150 yards against them in the first half.
Yeah, I know. In the first half, that's unreal.
Their fullback.
Well, I will say this, that I've had 2 or 3 guys pass this podium in front of us and said the reason Auburn won, they got rid of Nix. Is that true? Is that the reason they won?
I don't think they would have
I
won.
didn't think C.J. Finley was great, but he definitely, he seemed like they played a little different, played a little harder when he was in the game.
I think he's got better arm talent. That he can throw it down the field.
Well, he's
better.
6'7",
and he's a mountain of a man. Yeah,
6'7", and you know what? You hit him, he don't particularly go down. In fact, he had a guy wrapped around his legs.
Would I rather have Bo Nix going in to Baton Rouge to play LSU as the starter than C.J. Finley? I would rather have Bo Nix, in my personal opinion.
Wow. Well, and that'll be the talk of the sports world this week.
I would have Bo Nix in a big game. I really would. But
experience, I think, will be a huge factor. I mean, I know Finley, wants for anybody in the world. He hates Orgeron. Everybody saw Orgeron literally try to attack him on the field last year. I mean, he was, screamed, he got to be out in front of everybody on the national audience. But I mean, I don't see him being ready to win a game like that, in my personal opinion.
That will be interesting to see him playing his old team course, Auburn hadn't won there since 1999. Maybe they need to do something radical.
Boy, that is a long time. Like to mention.
You want a recap of the top 25? I can give it to you.
All right, do. Go ahead.
We had Fresno State survive against UNLV 38-30. They had to come back and beat UNLV. It was 0-4, so that tells you something about Fresno State there. Alabama beat Southern Miss 63-14. Bryce Young was 20 of 22 for 313 yards and 5 touchdowns. His one interception was right in one of the greatest kick returners I've seen in Alabama history. Jamison Williams had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns for Alabama and an 80-yard receiving touchdown.
Oh, boy.
So he's pretty phenomenal.
Well, but he did. That ball hit him right in the numbers, and it bounced off.
Yeah, hit him right in the numbers. Yeah, so that shouldn't have been.
That's not on Bryce. Yeah.
Georgia beats Vandy 62-0. Oregon beats Arizona 41-19. Heartbreak for Neil Brown. West Virginia is going in. Got the ball at about the 35-yard line. Looks like they're going to kick a field goal and go up with a couple minutes left and possibly pull the upset against Oklahoma. Instead, the center snaps the ball over the quarterback's head. It goes 22 yards backwards. And West Virginia then gets stopped. Oklahoma gets the ball back late, kicks a field goal with no time left pretty much, and wins the game 16-13.
And without that, instead they would have had to drive over 80 yards to win the game, didn't they?
Yeah, and then we got Iowa. They continue to win 24-14. They're undefeated at 4-0. Penn State is 4-0. They beat Villanova 38-17. Arkansas Razorbacks, I mean, what can you say? They pretty much just dominated Texas A&M. 20-10. Does that score surprise y'all?
Well, I thought that A&M would be more physical. I thought actually Arkansas was actually more physical than A&M.
I thought it'd be a close game, but Arkansas seems to be the real deal. And also, Texas A&M's second-string quarterback, who was highly touted, he doesn't look that great to me. Texas A&M's not near as good as I thought they were.
They're in trouble. They're not playing well.
You got Clemson, who everybody thought this could be an upset. NC State wins in double overtime, 27-21. Clemson is now out of the playoff picture.
Clemson is not good either. It's surprising.
Yeah, it's not.
Ohio State beats Akron 59-7. Tennessee and Florida was close for a half, but Florida dominates in the second half. It was 38-14. And then my pick, everybody liked Wisconsin. I like Notre Dame. Notre Dame blew out Wisconsin 41-13. And then Dad's pick, he's been on this bandwagon all year. Baylor 31, Iowa State.
And I can't wait till Will call
31-29.
Will called me crazy. He called me crazy. He called me crazy on the Fresno State game early in the year. And they also said I was crazy to take Baylor, so I got him 2-0 right there.
Is he gonna have to come run naked around the square?
Yeah, that's right. Which one was that?
BYU survives a really poor South Florida team, 35-27. Coastal Carolina wins 53-3. Michigan goes to 4-0. They beat Rutgers 20-13. And then for Nebraska, I mean, what can you say? They were leading late. Michigan State returns a punt for a touchdown. Game goes into overtime. Michigan State goes to 4-0 and beats Nebraska 23-20. Now Nebraska is 2-3.
Yeah, boy, tough luck for him.
Shocking game here. What is going on at Georgia Tech? Jeff Sims has become a quarterback, obviously.
Hey, I was wondering. Tell me about the Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech beats North Carolina 45-22.
Are they running the option, or what are they doing?
It's a spread team, but they have an extremely athletic quarterback. Tucker Gregg runs for 150 yards in the first half against Auburn, but doesn't, I think, gain a yard in the second. And Auburn wins 34-24. We all know it should have been 27-24, but a late 6-6. UCLA bounced back with an impressive win at Stanford. UCLA won 35-24. And then this is a very surprising 4-0 team. Oklahoma State beats ranked Kansas State 31-20. So I'm a man. I'm 40. Gundy can coach.
Yeah, that's right. Let me say something in the pro ranks before I forget it. Tucker, the kicker last night, kicked a 67-yard field goal, which was an NFL record.
Hit the crossbar and bounced over. Did y'all see that?
Yeah. The highlights of it.
It bounced up the right way. It went 67 yards.
66.
No, it's 67.
Yeah, 66.
No, Mike. But he kicked it 67.
Wow.
No, well, I mean, they're saying 66.
Are they? I didn't know 66 was a record.
Yeah, it's where the holder is lined up.
Well, I know that, but did they say it was 66 or 67?
Yeah, 64 was the all-time record by Matt Prater of the Denver Broncos. Of course, he was kicking in altitude. This game was kicked in an indoor dome facility in Detroit.
Yeah, that's right.
66 down the whole
Okay.
You know, these kickers nowadays, a 50-yard field goal is nothing for most of these.
Well, like last night. Let me tell you what a great game this was last night. Did any of y'all watch it?
No.
All right. Well, let me just tell you what a game it was. It was Aaron Rodgers going up against
San
Francisco, and what's his name? What's the kid's name? All right, well, he found a way to...
Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah, let me tell you what happened. You can guess. All right, Garoppolo, whatever his name, Jimmy took his team downfield, all the way downfield, and they ended up scoring and went ahead in the game 27-21 with just 37 seconds left. 37 seconds left. And
I bet there was a pass interference call.
No, it wasn't. He threw 2 passes and completed them, and with no time left, they brought their field goal kicker in. He kicks a 50-yarder as time ran out to win the game for
There's a reason all those NFL lines are 3 points. Have you noticed? They all come down. It seems like every game.
But that was
they're 3 points with a circle too. You can't buy a half point in. You can't buy a half point up.
I'm about to think, and there's been a lot of great team players, quarterbacks that could bring the team back, but it's just something about Aaron Rodgers that when he throws. I mean, the ball looks like it's just sitting there in the air. It's not always thrown that hard, but the ball just falls right in their hands, and it was a fabulous game though last night. If you saw it, and an unbelievable ending, but it's nothing. That's no big deal with Aaron Rodgers. He's a great person too. I've read about him, and he's a class outfit. That represents what all pro players ought to be.
His little brother is on the SEC network.
Hello.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning to you. How you?
Pretty good. I was just wondering, what's y'all's names?
I'm Bill, and this is Mike.
Okay, well, we just been watching y'all a little bit. First of all, where you go.
Yeah, they found a way to win.
Hey, turn down your TV. You got an echo here.
Turn your TV down. It makes it a lot easier.
Turn down the TV. Okay, sorry about that. Hang on.
Now, where are you from, sir?
We're from here in L.A. Also, we're just in Luverne, Alabama.
Yeah, okay, good. Do you have any questions?
Luverne win again? Are they undefeated?
And we're a father-son combination. I'm the father.
Okay, thank you for watching. How did Luverne High School do this last Friday night?
They won again. I believe they won 48-6.
They're good. I know that, yeah.
Right.
But
what you got to say about the Auburn game?
Well, that new quarterback is very interesting. He kind of reminds me of Cam Newton, the smaller advantage.
Exactly right. You're right.
I'm curious to see who's going to be starting next week.
Yeah, we all are.
I tell you what, if he doesn't start, I think he'll play. No, the coach needs to make sure he lets him play because he's a great athlete.
Right, I think so.
And but again, we appreciate you calling our show, and
keep watching. Tell your friends.
You have any other questions to ask us or whatever?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good day.
You too. And we appreciate those calls.
Other games around the SEC, we need to mention LSU held on to beat Mississippi State 28-25. Of course, LSU will play Auburn at night this weekend. Another interesting game here to me was Missouri went on the road and went to overtime against Boston College.
I watched that game.
Missouri kicked a 56-yard field goal to go into overtime, but fell to an undefeated Boston College team that's 4-0 and will play Clemson this weekend.
Let me tell you this. You better watch that one. They're liable to beat Clemson.
And then Kentucky holds on, has several turnovers against South Carolina, but wins 16-10 over the South Carolina Gamecocks, who Troy will play this weekend.
Yeah. I got tickets that game. Does anybody want them? Anybody want tickets to the game? Let me know.
Sunbelt scores over the weekend. We'll get over the Sunbelt as well. Of course, Appalachian State came back, had a great win over Marshall, 31-30. Troy, of course, falls to La Monroe, 29-16. Taylor Powell, the Troy quarterback, did throw for 311 yards, 35 for 49 for 39.
But he threw the tight pass like, hey, you take the 5 receivers, he tells them to go out 5 yards and turn around. That's sort of looked the way their passing went.
We mentioned Coastal Carolina winning. Of course, Georgia State fell to Auburn. Eastern Michigan blows off Texas Tech. So it looks like Texas State's really mad all of a sudden, 59-21. Dan, you had an interest, Dad. You were asking about Tulsa. Tulsa on to beat Arkansas State at home, 41-34. So Arkansas State can score some points.
Yeah, I know it.
And then Louisville Lafayette wins at Georgia Southern 28-20. After the game, Chad Lunsford, the coach of Georgia Southern the last 4 years, has been fired. So Georgia Southern will have an interim coach when they play Troy here in a few weeks.
Yeah. Well, what do? If you're a coach, you go out there and you put a pretty good football team. I always have a lot of respect for Georgia Southern. I wouldn't ever want to play them, to tell you the truth. But I look at them as having works. Now, let me tell you what happened here. Their first string quarterback, a team for Georgia Southern, he was the first team quarterback, named was Wirtz. Mm-hmm. One of the best wishbone quarterbacks I think I've ever seen. He was just a great athlete, and he could run, he could throw, and do it all. Well,
he can't throw that great.
Well, all right, but listen to this. He left and went to play for our team at Louisville. And it's wide receiver Louisville, and so he, that's pretty tough when your first string quarterback, a guy that's taking you to 3 straight bowl games, decides he's going to leave and go to Louisville. Well, what is that to say about these players? Are they saying, well, gosh, what did the coach do to let that guy run off, or whatever? Or are we going to be able to find another quarterback? Well, that's been the problem. They haven't been able to find another quarterback.
I've been thinking about these teams are full of transfers. So when things start to go south, you got players that have been there for 4, 6 months, 9 months.
Yeah.
Are they really invested in the program and in the school? Or I don't know.
We'll talk about that tomorrow on our show, of course.
The reason I heard in an interview that Shy Wirtz left Georgia Southern was he was trying to play in the NFL as a wide receiver, and he felt like Louisville was going to give him a chance to play wide receiver, and he felt like it was a bigger school, Power 5, ACC conference. And that's why he left. But it is very strange because Georgia Southern had to defend a lot of off-the-field issues.
All right, listen, we got a lot more to talk about tomorrow on our show, and, of course, we hope that you watch us also at 1:30 today. We appreciate all the calls. We appreciate all of our sponsors. And remember our good friends at Troy Bank at Trust Company, and how about Hoss Daddy at and of course we'll be
coming on.
Yes, sir, and we appreciate Wiley Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality midsize truck, Jeep Gladiator, 0 APR for 36 months, and no payments for 90 days. Shop PremierTroy.com today during Jeep Adventure Days and save thousands. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
We're celebrating our Driver Appreciation Week. We're so happy to have Truckworks here.
We just want to recognize Truckworks for what they do for us. Absolute great partners. They've really stepped up here on Driver Appreciation Week. They came in here, and I mean, not hamburgers and hot dogs, Boston butts and the grilled chicken, the really, really prima stuff. So, man, we so much appreciate you guys and what you do for us.
Wiley Sanders Foot Line, we know one thing. Drivers first.
Welcome to ESPN College Football. This is going to be wild. Run it.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality truck. Ram. #1 longest last.